old? Is safe cracking something that a youngster would do?
Do you know why you have to be quiet? You have to hear the clicks.
You hear it, I know.
You have to hear the clicks.
But don't they just have something electronic, technology, cracks the
I don't want that. I want real safe cracking.
Okay.
Welcome to PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, a wrinkle in the NBA MVP race. Duke rolls over Notre Dame, and Pat Riley calls for the return of coaches wearing suits. Thank God, I add parenthetically. But we begin today with a popular refrain around the Dallas Cowboys. Should so-and-so get his money?
Uh-oh.
But this time it's not Dak.
Ooh.
This time it's the kicker, Brandon Aubrey. Aubrey has reportedly been offered a multi-year deal averaging close to $7.5 million a season. Aubrey reportedly wants close to $10 million.
Oops.
The highest paid kicker right now is Kansas City's Harrison Butker, getting $6.4 million a year, so Aubrey would reset the market. Last year, Aubrey hit 11 field goals from 50 or beyond. Wilbon, should Aubrey get his money?
I'm sorry, did I miss something? Which you couldn't find a Lakers story?
No
you
Lakers.
couldn't find Luka and LeBron
Not
yet?
today.
So you went to a Cowboy getting his money?
Not today.
I'm going to surprise you with this. I'm going to go straight Jerry and Stephen Jones and say no. I know this guy had 6 kicks beyond 60.
Beyond 60.
I get it. He's prolific. He's wow. He also missed kicks that either lost the game or didn't enable the Cowboys to extend the game. I saw those kicks, so I know. It's also cyclical. Kickers, you think running backs have been de-emphasized? There's a kicker at every high school in America who thinks he's Steph Curry, who goes out to the logo to kick from 60. Every soccer team, every football team, you can find them. They're a dime a dozen. Let them walk. The Cowboys can't sign people like their quarterback without drama. They're going to make a priority out of this dude? No.
Okay, so let me go to some numbers because I think the numbers tell a story.
Okay.
He's 112 out of 127 career. That's 88.2%. From 50 and out, he's 35 of 44. That's right around 80%. And as you say, 6 from 60. I think you should pay this guy a ton of money, and I'll tell you why. Because he keeps you in the game when your offense stinks, and he sometimes wins the game when your offense stinks. They won 7 last year, and this guy won 3 of them. I get it. Nobody wants to pay a kicker. Guys on the football team don't want to pay the kicker. Like the players, though, because they're not on the team, because they're separated and they practice. But they have a disproportionate effect on the outcome of the game. And you know why I'm interested in this? I'm interested in this because of the new rule in the UFL, which basically has sponsorship from the NFL as a tryout, where if you go beyond 60, you're going to get 4 points. As you know, my feeling is that's fine, but I want to penalize you if you miss. If you miss from 61, I want to take 1 point off your score, which is my idea.
I actually like this. But Tony, if that happens, it's going to be like 4 years down the road, and this dude will be out of the league anyway. My point is this. First of all, the Cowboys could wind up through various means with a second-round pick. Second-round pick? I could get a Hall of Fame player with a second-round pick, much less a kicker. I can trade down and get 2 picks and wind up.
Some kickers have gone in the first round,
but not
as
many.
Our history knows.
But yes, but not many.
Not many.
All I'm saying is he's everything you said he is. But kickers, they're so fungible now. You can find them, and the guy in Chicago, Santos, he's kicking in real elements, not like these indoor dome dudes. And he went like 4 for 6 from 50.
Right. I'm tell you something.
What?
I love when the Cowboys are on this show and we can scream about should Aubrey get his money. That's good TV.
No, he shouldn't get his money.
Good TV.
Yeah. Let's move to the Lakers. No. The NBA MVP race, which may end up with fewer candidates than you might think. The NBA's rule is that players must play 65 games to qualify. It could cost Nikola Jokic a shot at his 4th. He can afford to only miss 1 more game. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander can only miss 7 more, and he's slated to miss tonight's game in Detroit. Luka can only miss 5 more. Tone, would the MVP award feel compromised to you without those guys eligible?
So let's do a small little history lesson here. You have to play to be eligible for awards, postseason awards. You have to play in 65 of the 82 games. That rule was instituted to stop load management.
Yes.
That's what it was. It was not to stop people getting hurt.
I like that. Actually.
It was to stop load management.
Right.
So and that's a hard and fast number, 65 at the moment. Nobody thinks that Gilgeous-Alexander or Jokic does load management.
That's right.
They're just hurt. They fall on the wrong side of this at the moment. But it's a hard and fast number. So let's go to this for a second. My position is simple. I believe you are less valuable if you play 61, 62, 63
doubt.
than if you play 74, 75, 76. Jokic, 16 already, right? He's missed 16 already. And Wembanyama, 13 already.
Yeah.
Gilgeous-Alexander at 10 might qualify. Cade Cunningham has missed 6. Jaylen Brown has missed 6.
They're at the top.
I believe, Mike, you're most valuable if you play. So if you give me Cunningham or Jaylen Brown, I take them and I say the award is not devalued.
We are not going to have phony disagreement here. Because not only that, Tony, you mentioned a couple of the names. First of all, it's go time now. So that not only is there no load management now for anybody that really cares, you're going to play through certain injuries because you want position. You want to either avoid the play-in, you want to avoid San Antonio in the first round. Whatever your motivation is, we're at go time. We're 25 games and fewer. So I think if you got Jaylen Brown eligible, you got Cade Cunningham eligible, you got Wembanyama eligible.
Cunningham and Jaylen Brown are on teams that are the equal or better than these other guys' teams. So
no doubt.
So, I don't really want to hear it. What this is about is load management, and they're threatening people. They're saying, if you don't play, you can't get your contractual bonus because you can't win the award.
That's a big deal, too.
If the NBA doesn't want this, next year change the number. Okay?
They could tweak it.
Right now, it's 65, which is, here's the number, 79.2% of the games. It could be 60. That's 73% of the games. But don't tell me that the award is going to be devalued if Cunningham or Jaylen Brown.
It's not. It's not. First of all, if Detroit and Cunningham win the East regular season, I'm probably voting. I'd vote for him anyway. He would be in my finalists. Okay? Same thing with Jaylen Brown leading a team without his supposed best player, his tag team partner, Jason Tatum. And certainly, come on, Jokic just not only won these awards, he's led his team to a title. If he's enabled, I'll make you a bet, a little side bet. Jokic should not miss any more games.
Okay,
this season
we'll see.
He's gonna be.
But nobody's accusing them of being load management.
No, not at all.
Let's go to college basketball. Number 1, Duke slaughtered Notre Dame last night, 100-56 in South Bend. It was the worst home loss for Notre Dame basketball since 1898. That's right, I said 1898, and I didn't even know there was basketball then. There's basketball now, and Notre Dame isn't really playing it. Wilbon, is the headline here the size of Duke's win or the size of Notre Dame's loss?
Notre Dame. It's Notre Dame. It's, for me, somebody who grew up 92 miles from the South Bend campus, it's Notre Dame. And I understand Notre Dame basketball is not Notre Dame football, though. Do not tell that to our dear friend Digger Phelps, who should have stood in a line and hugged each player as he left the court last night, because this is not the Notre Dame basketball that he built. Notre Dame has already lost 8. They had already lost 8 going in last night's game. Double-digit games, Tony.
Oh, okay, but they're 12 and 16 overall.
Yeah, but I'm talking about just
3 and 12 in the league.
I'm talking about getting popped.
Oh, yeah.
You losing by double digits and you're Notre Dame. I had to fly last night, so that game was like a 16-point game when I clicked off.
I was watching.
You continued watching.
In between TGLs, baby, in between the TGLs. Look, thank you for mentioning Digger Phelps. They did a shot of Digger last night, and it was great to see Digger. Digger Phelps, who should be in the Hall of Fame, is synonymous with the glory days of Notre Dame basketball. I remember.
He is the glory days of Notre Dame.
I remember when Digger Phelps and Notre Dame stopped UCLA's winning streak in that building.
Were you at that game?
88. No, but I was at the game when Digger Phelps and Notre Dame ended San Francisco's unbeaten season at 29-0. I was there for that. And at that game, Digger, before the game, handed out green carnations to his assistant coaches, told them to wear them, and checked where the cameras were, because Digger always wanted to know where the cameras were. That was when Notre Dame basketball, it's never the equal of football, but it was close. It was a big deal.
Pretty good.
Now, Duke is the number 1 team in the country. Yeah. Notre Dame was missing its top 2 starters. But you know the score at halftime?
Big man.
54-22. 54-22.
So it could have been a trap game. It was impressive by Duke, because it could have been a trap game coming off Michigan.
This is nothing like what Notre Dame used to be with Digger, and nothing like it was for a lot of the years with Mike Bray. Look, Mike, I'm getting nostalgic in my old age. I said this to you last week when I saw Duke pound Syracuse. I said, something's wrong. Syracuse is lost. I watched Notre Dame. I thought Notre Dame was lost. But you know what? Duke's not lost, and they changed coaches, too.
Duke has been able to maintain this in a way that very few other places, Kansas, not even Indiana. Indiana, nice loss at home
to Northwestern.
Wildcats.
You had a good one.
So Indiana hasn't been able to maintain it either.
No.
not a good night for basketball in the Hoosier State, huh?
No, did the Pacers lose as well?
I don't know about the hoop, but the college.
They always do lose. Let's take a break. Coming up, Jonathan Kuminga lit it up in his debut for the Hawks. What is the word for that?
And how best to describe Pat Riley's call for coaches to start wearing suits again?
Brilliant would be the word that would come to mind quickly.
Put it on.
I have other words.
Put it on.
I was there with Digger. Digger should be in the Hall of Fame. Handing out green carnations.
Unthinkable.
Jonathan Kuminga's debut for the Hawks was blank.
My word is impressive, okay? He had 27 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals in 24 minutes.
Yeah.
9 of 12 from the field, 3 of 4 from 3.
Against who? That floor looks
Well, I'm going to
familiar.
get to that.
Okay.
He came off the bench when the score was 12-9 in Atlanta. At the end of the first quarter, it was 35-20. Now, the opponent was the Wizards, who are attempting to tank every single game.
Yeah.
But you have to play who's ever on the schedule. It's not his fault.
Agreed.
He was plus 16.
Agreed.
I don't know what happened between Kuminga and Steve Kerr, but obviously it was enough to force Kuminga out of Golden State. If he plays like this every night, the Hawks stole him. Because as good as Porzingis may be, if he can't actually play, what's the difference?
Totally agree with you, Tony. As you know, I'm going to get to the Golden State part of this. My word is, my bad, because you look at Kuminga and what he's going to do. He's going to do this a lot, not all the time. He's going to average 27. It's my bad. Golden State, they didn't get this right, okay? And Steve Kerr, to me, who is going to the Hall of Fame as a coach, and is just one of my favorite people to have covered forever in my life as a sports writer and doing this. This was not Steve Kerr's best work to me. And I would like to find out what happened. But this is a my bad situation. Jonathan Kuminga can play. He is able-bodied. He is long enough. He plays out on the wing. He can defend. I'm not saying he did everything to the staff's liking in Golden State, because he didn't. But don't tell me that Jonathan Kuminga didn't have value. I was hoping the Bulls would get him in a trade with Vooch. Didn't occur to somebody in the Bulls front office.
Don't you think that Golden State gave him every opportunity, and at every step along the way he did something to antagonize him? Why would they?
No, it didn't. It doesn't add up. Look, everybody makes personnel mistakes, particularly when you're as good as Golden State.
Okay.
You can get drafts wrong because you're reaching. But this ain't a reach.
He had them for.
They had him
for years, and they just said they can't do it anymore. What's next?
Pat Riley's call for coaches to wear suits is blank.
It's great. Of course it's great. Dress like an adult.
Okay, so you better say it. You better
dress
say
like an adult. Dress like a leader. All right? Put on a suit and tie like Pat Riley. Does anybody think that Pat Riley's coaching ability was impaired by the clothes that he wore? All of these people in sweatsuits, to me, they look terrible. They look like they lost their luggage on the airplane in. I mean, and they are out there, and it's not just them. All 20 assistants
and the college
on
ones.
Every single NBA team wears the same thing. Look, you want to wear this in practice, that's fine. Don't wear this in the game. I think you will agree with me that Pat Riley and Chuck Daly were the best-dressed coaches out there for years and years and years.
Yeah.
Right?
Look,
they elevated their profession. These guys are lowering their profession.
Nobody loves a good pair of cashmere Xenia joggers like as much as I do. However, when you get to the game,
you're a real man of the people. Xenia
I'm just going to say
joggers.
this is like the greatest compliment I've ever gotten. I'm at Dwayne Wade's retirement party.
And Pat Riley says,
I texted you. I was so excited. Pat Riley puts his hands on my shoulders, looks at me and says, I loved what you had on the show, and I think it was Thursday. That's it. That's a mic drop. I'm not going to get a greater compliment than that.
Right.
Pat Riley, put on a suit. Then wear a turtleneck. Wear a cashmere polo put on a jacket, even if it's not a suit. Get dressed. There are guys like Doc Rivers can dress. Doc Rivers has a closet full of suits. I know this. I know these guys have the suits.
Do you have a word? Did you give a word?
Thank God.
Okay. Yeah.
And the other word would have been, yeah.
I don't understand why coaches think that. You know
what? The league lets them. Because there are no standards
when
anymore.
When they are walking the sideline in that outfit, they have no authority. Pat Riley had authority.
Yes, he did.
Authority.
And you know what? This is more important than tanking. Put some coaches in suits, and you got guys who follow the coach.
That's the final word.
Less likely to tank.
Let's take one last break. Still to come.
It makes sense to move the traditional date of the Army-Navy game.
Why do they not wear coats and ties? They look so much better. Why?
They look great.
They have enough. 2006. Before that, he anchored the Sunday football show on Fox from 1994 until he went to CBS. And he'd done college basketball play-by-play for years. But Wilbon and I knew James from his hometown days in Washington, D.C. James Brown was a great high school basketball player at famed DeMatha, playing for Hall of Fame coach Morgan Wooten. There was talk of him going to a big basketball school like North Carolina or UCLA, but James chose instead to go to Harvard, a choice he has never regretted. When I started doing radio in 1992, I was doing 10 to 1. James followed me from 1 to 4. Wilbon, tell everyone why we love James Brown.
There's no better host. There's no better friend. There's no better neighbor. There's one thing I don't particularly like about JB.
What's that?
He insists, like our friend Gary Williams, of going through Balducci's and Safeway in the neighborhood. We're all neighbors.
Right.
Through the produce and the fruits.
And you don't do
I don't want anybody in my house to think I'm ever going to touch the fruit or the veggies. I'm not doing that. JB, he's so practical.
You and I have a rift about that. I like to go shopping. Happy anniversary, Wichita State. On this day 12 years ago, the Shockers beat Bradley to become the first D1 men's basketball team to reach 30-0 in the regular season. That team was led by now NBA vet Fred VanVleet, who coincidentally is celebrating his 32nd birthday today. A couple of other players on that team, Clee Anthony Early and Ron Baker, had a few years in the NBA. Wichita was coached by Greg Marshall, who resigned in 2020 after an investigation into alleged abusive behavior towards his players. Wichita State went into that NCAA tournament as a #1 seed, got its record to 35-0 before losing to Kentucky 78-76 in the NCAA's second round.
I also got to mention, 62 years ago today, young Cassius Clay shocked the world by knocking out Sonny Liston in Miami. Just a hell of an event. One of the great events of all time.
I remember that. I remember the next fight in Lewiston, Maine.
Yeah.
Do you know Sonny Liston's real first name?
I do, Charles.
Charles.
Sonny. People thought Ali was going to get knocked out by Sonny Liston and perish in the ring. My father was afraid Ali was going to lose his life.
He was not Ali then. He was
Cassius
Marcellus
Clay
at that point. Happy trails, Sidney Crosby. The Penguin star is expected to miss at least 4. The Penguins are currently in the postseason field, but just points away from dropping out. And Crosby leads the team in goals, assists, and points.
Tony, it just seems that Crosby lately hasn't been able to get to that point he did a few years ago.
He's not a kid.
He's not a kid. He's not a kid. And even though I would seem like I would root against Sidney Crosby, I want to see a healthy Sidney Crosby in the playoffs, no doubt.
He's no longer Sid the Kid, but he's a great player. And a bonus happy trails to the traditional date of the Army-Navy game. The two teams have met in the last game of the college football regular season for nearly a century. But Army coach Jeff Monken tells The Athletic he's in favor of moving it up 2 weeks, as long as the game is still the only one being played in its window. That would allow the game to count towards the American Conference race and the playoff field, both of which have been decided a week prior to the game. It could also create space for another round of playoff games.
God help us to create any more space for any more playoff games. That game needs to have exclusivity. It's earned it. It should occupy that spot alone. And so I don't care what day they play it, earlier in December, just alone.
Yeah, what I was worried about when I first heard this was it would not be a solitary game, because let's say they played it on Thanksgiving Day. The NFL is on Thanksgiving Day, so you don't want that. You have to find a place in the schedule for Army-Navy. People, if for nothing else, people need to watch them march in. They do. It's one of the great spectacles in sports. It's a wonderful thing.
Don't market away the time.
You have an omission on the NBA and coaches wearing suits?
Doc Rivers has a really good idea. It says wear suits at least in the playoffs. That's a great idea. And the league, I know, has an apparel deal with Nike. I don't care. I don't care about that. Football and basketball, guys look. Tom Landry, Mike Ditka, Vince Lombardi. Did those guys look great?
Suit, coat, tie. Big finish quickly. The Cavs beat the Knicks last night. Is that significant?
Other than James Harden fracturing his right thumb, he's going to play through it. I don't know that it particularly is. Sean Payton has given up offensive play calling for the Broncos, while Aaron Glenn is taking on defensive play calling for the Jets. Bigger deal.
There's no big deal with the Jets. Aaron Glenn says it's a superpower. Really? Let's
start using it.
Luka hesitated to take a game-winning shot attempt against the Magic and dished to LeBron, who missed your analysis.
It's not that big a deal. What's a big deal is they're not great together, Tony, by any metric so far this season for the Lakers. Not offensively. Baseball's #1 prospect, 19-year-old Connor Griffin, homered twice for the Pirates in spring training yesterday. Have you seen this kid?
I haven't. I want to. I want to see him in Skeens. They're bringing
They look like a
excitement
guard
to Pittsburgh.
tackle
That's
tandem.
wonderful. Last one. Thunder Pistons and Celtics Nuggets tonight. Which is the more intriguing matchup?
Celtics and Nuggets have most of their people playing. I think that's the more intriguing.
We are out of time. We will try to do better the next time. I'm Tony Kornheiser.
Looks like a little load management in OKC. I'm Mike Wilbon. Same time tomorrow, Knucklehead.